The daughter-in-law instantly saw through her mother-in-law's act. She knew the old woman was faking her illness on purpose, but instead of exposing her, she decided to play along and sent her straight to the hospital, because she already knew that her mother-in-law and husband had bribed the doctor. They were using this fake illness to stall her, so her husband could spend time with his first love. However, the woman who knew the truth wasn't angry at all. Instead, she calmly stayed by the old woman's side, because she clearly remembered that in just 30 seconds, the fake illness would turn real. As soon as the countdown ended, the mother-in-law suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood, then collapsed onto the bed, losing consciousness. Seeing that her plan had worked, the woman immediately pretended to panic and ran outside to call the doctor. But when the doctor saw the situation, he was completely dumbfounded. This was supposed to be a fake illness. How did it turn real? Panicking, he quickly told the woman to contact her husband, but little did he know, they had already fallen into her trap, because her husband would assume that his mother was just acting as planned, so there was no way he would come back. The woman then deliberately put the phone on speaker and placed it next to her mother-in-law's ear. She wanted the old woman to die in pain and despair, and she wanted her cheating husband to regret it for the rest of his life. Just as she expected, when her husband saw the call, he couldn't even be bothered to answer. It wasn't until his first love convinced him that he reluctantly picked up and casually lied, saying he was busy and not to disturb him. Seeing that the man refused to come back, the doctor was scared out of his mind. He was the one who faked the old woman's medical records. If this got exposed, his whole career would be over. So he quickly grabbed the phone and urged the man to return and sign the papers. But to his shock, the husband thought the doctor was just playing along, and even reassured him that once the plan was complete, he would be rewarded with a huge sum of money. Then he hung up without hesitation, with no one to sign the consent forms. The doctor had no choice but to push the old woman into the emergency room and told the woman to keep trying to contact her husband. But at that moment, her husband blocked her number. Meanwhile, the mother-in-law was on the verge of death. Taking this opportunity, the woman grabbed the old woman's hand and pressed her fingerprint onto the property transfer agreement. Just like that, the mother-in-law took her last breath in utter despair. But the woman felt no guilt at all, because in her past life, this mother and son had used the exact same scheme. Not only did they steal all her wealth, but they also brutally murdered her. Now that she had been reborn, she would make them pay for their crimes in blood. Seeing that the old woman had stopped breathing, she used her phone to send a message to her husband, then pretended to be devastated, and went to the doctor to gain his sympathy. The doctor was already scared out of his wits. Seeing the old woman dead, he immediately wanted to slip away while no one was looking. But just as he turned to leave, the woman suddenly called out to him and told him that she would be holding a funeral for her mother-in-law in 3 days. As her husband's close friend, she hoped he would attend. Hearing this, the doctor wanted to refuse, but the woman stared straight at him and asked if he had something to hide. Hearing her words, the doctor immediately panicked and quickly agreed to show up on time in 3 days. Meanwhile, the husband had just confessed to his first love and was planning to celebrate with fireworks and firecrackers.